All right, happy Friday. I did not make a video. I think I did not on Wednesday. My twins have been trying out for their freshman basketball team. Obviously, like my son on the boys team and my daughter for the girls team. It's been stressful. I feel like I don't usually get, I don't know, I try not to invest, this sounds bad. I try not to invest too much in the success of my children, but in some ways I don't, because I felt like as a kid myself, I didn't want to let my parents down. I wanted to be the best, all of these things. And so I feel like with my kids, I'm like, I don't care if you make it or not, you know, you'll learn something either way. Or I try to just stay very neutral about it, not too much put too much pressure on them about it. But obviously, you know, I see that they really want it, and I see that their friends are gonna like most likely be on the team, and the experiences that they'll have and the bonding. And so as a mom, you do get a little bit invested. And so that's been the last couple of days, and they both found out last night that they made the team, and they're really excited. But my heart does break for the ones that didn't make the team, because we know some of them, and I just, I feel bad. So why am I telling you this? My mind's been somewhere else this week. That's why, because I've been emotional support for my children, as I should be always, but especially this week. Anyways, the video today, I wanted to talk about how do you know if you're eating unrestrictedly? Is that something you can just decide to do and then just like that? Well, I had a session with Becky. She said eat unrestrictedly. You know, I've read about that in books and I've heard such and such. So I just decided today, and I'm in it. I'm doing it. I'm eating unrestrictedly. And despite someone's like very best intentions, that still usually doesn't happen. Usually it is a constant learning process. Well, I shouldn't say constant. It's constant up until you get what that is. And we talked about this in my last video a little bit about like that feeling of just like, I'm doing this. But getting to that point where you're eating unrestrictedly is going to be a lot of interrogating yourself and the decisions you're making, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of honesty, brutal honesty with yourself. Like, why did I choose that thing over this? Or did I in fact have enough? I think I did. No, I did not have enough. I have to have more. Despite how hard some of the answers might be, to acknowledge that maybe you need to do something different and challenge more, you have to continue to work on getting to that place where it's like, okay, I know that feeling now. I know the things to ask myself. I know how to do this. One of the things that you can ask yourself, and I have to make this video kind of quick because I need to go pick up some kids. So I'll try to be articulate, which I've not been in the last several videos. Well, basically like since I came back a couple months ago. Here I am, lost my train of thought. Oh, come on, brain. Oh, one of the questions you can ask yourself is, when you don't know what to do, is like, what would be the harder thing to do, right? And so should I go out with friends to this restaurant, you know, that I don't really love, or should I stay home and eat all the foods I'm really craving and just really have it? What would be the harder thing for you? Whatever the harder thing would be for you is what you should do. My guess, the hardest thing would be go out with friends, order what you want, eat all of it, come home, have all the things you wanted, right? That'd be the hardest thing. And that's what you want to do in recovery. And this was just maybe an example I discussed with the client earlier, where they were kind of having a situation like that. Because what you want to do is, and it won't always be, sometimes people will ask me, like, what do you think I should have done? And I'll ask them questions like, well, I don't know your intentions behind both. I can guess, but sometimes it's sneaky. Sometimes eating disorder is like, actually, no, this is what I was thinking. And so I always turn it on them and be like, what would have been harder for you to do? When you're caught in the decision making of like, and this goes along with unrestricted eating, with should I have this or should I have this? Should I have this or should I have this? They're both challenging. I don't know. I can't decide. I feel like either one I decide is going to be wrong. Okay, I chose this thing. I went with it. And then I still felt like disappointed or frustrated or discouraged or more anxious or whatever. If that's happening to you, oh my goodness, it's so clear to me. You need to have both. If there's this kind of like tug of war and you're having a really hard time making the decision about what to have both, okay? So that's going to be something that as you're progressing towards unrestricted eating and you're finding yourself stuck in this place where it's like, I don't know, I just like to fight what I have, like whichever one I choose, I'm always feeling like it was the wrong one. It's because you probably most definitely wanted both. Someone asked, how do I deal with the physical fullness though? How do I eat unrestrictedly while my stomach is literally like gonna explode and my digestion is so dang slow? Good question. Well, I can tell you one thing. If you're trying to cater to that fullness and you're like, oh, I don't want to push it, I'm full, I don't want to be sick, I just feel like if I stop now, I'm going to be good. Maybe, but also your stomach, your digestion, your metabolism, none of it's going to speed up if you're not making it speed up, right? Just because you tell yourself you're in recovery and like, okay, I'm telling everyone I am, I'm working with the coach, I'm in recovery. If you're not eating like you're in recovery, your stomach is not going to know you're in recovery. You have to be pushing more food in. You have to be demanding and forcing it to speed up, and it will. If you're consistently putting a lot of food in, trust me, it's going to figure out, we gotta do things faster around here. We gotta start food as we are not getting any breaks, guys. Let's go. Come on, pick it up. We gotta start digesting. It's not a comfortable experience as you're kind of training yourself to get back to that point where you can digest a lot of food, but it's important that you do. And so if you're someone who's been kind of hitting a dead end, getting frustrated because you're like, oh, I can't fit all the food in I want, that my mental hunger is asking me for, ask yourself, are you really pushing the limits? Or are you just kind of being very careful or timid with like, okay, that's just the right amount of fullness I like, and I feel comfortable and I can move on. You're probably not ever going to get to that point where you can honor all of your mental hunger or even come close. There's something else I was going to say in terms of asking yourself. Just back to like the interrogating, always asking yourself, why are you choosing that thing? Why are you having this thing? Why did you not have that thing? And it'll become pretty clear when you're asking yourself those questions. If you were doing something because your eating disorder was controlling you and telling you how to do it and you were listening, or if it was because you were like, oh, I did that because it was exactly what I wanted and it was great and I loved it and I'm moving on. Like it was definitely a pro-recovery thing. I want you to be able to answer that with confidence that it was. And then the last thing is when you're trying to eat unrestrictedly, it is so important. I can't emphasize this enough. It is so important that you get rid of the filler foods. It is so important that you stop trying to appease the eating disorder in terms of types of food you're eating, whether it's macros or it's having this balanced, pretty colorful plate. Like you gotta let all that go out the window and you have to just commit to like, what is it exactly that I want now? Not, okay, I'll have the chicken, the potatoes and the vegetable, and then I'll have the cereal. Even though really all you want is a cereal and you're just gagging the other stuff down because you feel like that's the right thing to do, and then you can kind of, fill your stomach up a little bit and then have the cereal. Just go straight for the thing you want. Or you're going to get discouraged. You're going to keep feeling like, why is my brain not changing? Why do I still feel like I am like so far off from like eating what I really want, what my brain is asking me for? How come I'm still constantly thinking about food? How come my mental hunger has not gone down at all? How come food's so much on a pedestal? How come I'm still planning out my entire day's worth of food? How come I'm still saving things for later? All of those things are because you're not eating exactly what you want in the moment. And when you do that, all those other things will fall away. Food will come off a pedestal. You'll stop planning out your day. You'll stop regurgitating in your brain over and over again what you ate earlier. Like all of those things, if you can just stay in the present moment and ask yourself exactly what do you want in that moment, obviously within reason, right? It's like, well, what I really want is that meal that I had at 27 Steps in New Zealand. Can I have that? No, I can't, right? Obviously I can't realistically, but you know what I mean, within reason, what is it that you really want? And if it's something that's even remotely feasible, please do it and have that thing and have it in the amount that you want. Because I learned in recovery pretty quickly, maybe I could have learned it quicker, but I did learn pretty quickly that I don't have time to waste. Each day is precious. Each time I eat is extremely precious, not in terms of like precious, oh my gosh, I have to choose the right thing because food's on a pedestal. Precious as in, I want to do the most rewarding I can in every given moment. That kind of precious, right? If you can treat every opportunity as just this really wonderful opportunity, wonderful chance to take your eating disorder off and to get one step closer to full recovery, do it. Okay. So that's my message today. Kind of some tools and some, tips on how to achieve and get to that unrestricted eating. And then I know I'll get questions again about, how do I deal with the fullness? You do. You'll be okay. You'll be so surprised how much more you can eat than you think you can. And again, your body will catch up. It will. It might take some time, but it will. So be patient, be determined, and just take it one moment at a time. Stay in the present moment and eat exactly what you want in that moment. And when your brain starts jumping ahead to, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do later? Eat more in that present moment. Okay? All right. Have a good weekend. Bye.